I'd like to call it skin food. I am Dr. Shravya, the consultant dermatocosmetologist and the trichologist from Columbia Asia and Manipal Hospitals in Bangalore. And today we have a special guest, Ms. Rashmi Sethi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you, Rashmi. Would you like to give a short introduction of yourself for our viewers?
Sure, sure, Dr. Sravya. Hi, my name is Rashmi Sethi. I am a clinical nutritionist by profession and a diabetic educator, and being in this field for more than 12 years now. So here I am today to talk about foods for skin with Dr. Sravya.
Yes, I thought it was very important, Miss Rashmi, that we as dermatologists or cosmetologists, especially trichology, we keep getting asked so many times every day by all the patients, okay, now is there any change in my diet that I can make for whatever problem there is? So we thought we'll break down a couple of really, really common popular relationships here between skin and food, like Miss Rashmi is going to talk about. So I thought the most apt thing and the most relevant thing that we would talk about is acne, acne and dairy. So there
Right.
are a lot of other things that are related to acne, but we will cover acne's relationship with dairy, PCOS and relationship with food, acne and its relationship with high glycemic index foods, which is so relevant in mango season.
Right.
There's a lot of
That's true.
questions about that. And for all the bodybuilders out there who are in love with whey protein, we have some facts for you which are maybe conducive or may not be so conducive. So, Miss Rashmi, shall we start about talking with acne,
Sure.
and so one of the main advice that I give written in my prescription, whether it's a teenager or an adult dealing with adult acne, is that please reduce your dairy intake. Could you
Right.
please throw some light on this topic for us, please?
Of course, yes. Because nowadays, first of all, dairy, many of them are unknowingly allergic to it. There are a lot of people who, it causes inflammation to them. There are a lot of people for whom, we do not know the type of milk they are consuming. If they are consuming buffalo's milk, it has too much of fats in it. If they are consuming cow's milk, we nowadays are not assured about the quality of it, right? So it is always better, if you're having too much of acne, too much of breakouts, to stay away from milk for a particular period of time. Now when we say to stay away from milk, you need not stop on taking your curds or buttermilk, which have probiotics also. So you can opt for those alternatives, but particularly it will be a great advantage for all if they stop consuming dairy at least for a particular period of time to check how it is suiting them. Right? As we know, every body is different, and we do not know which nutrient or which particular food reacts to whom or their skin in what way. So it is always better to stop it for a particular period of time, see how it reacts, and then you can take a call.
So
Is
this
what
is what, yeah, this is exactly this is perfect what you've said. But so we live in India at the end of the day, and the faces that expressions that people make when I say, "Can you please stop milk?"
yeah.
is shock. Because suppose I'm telling a teenager, Miss Rashmi, suppose I'm really telling a teenager, the mother will look at me as if, lekin,
Milk.
how can we not do without milk? Or if it's an adult, how can I have how can I live without chai or coffee? But it
Right.
is in India mostly that we believe that it's crucial for cow's milk or buffalo milk for the bone or growth or things like that, which now with new research has been proven otherwise. Could you throw some light on that?
Sure. So if you're talking about milk only in terms of proteins or calcium consumption, which is good for your bones, uh, there are way other sources which are, which give you the same amount of calcium or proteins, whether you're vegetarians or non-vegetarians. So we can definitely opt for those options. Foods like you have rice puff, you have rajgira, you have sesame seeds. So there are a lot of green leafy vegetables per se. There are a lot of other sources which will give you the same amount of calcium and proteins, and you did not, really need to rely on milk per se for your calcium or protein intake. And gone are the days when we say that if you're not drinking milk, there would be, the development would not be great, or there would be a stunted growth, or there would be other problems coming up. It is absolutely not so.
Yeah, it takes me some time to, give them the alternatives. So if you have like a teenager, with a lot of acne, where I say, okay, I know your dairy is aggravating your acne, we've tried and tested it. What are like the top, three things that you would suggest as substitutes for dairy products?
So they can definitely have curds, because curds doesn't have. There are researchers which say that curd doesn't affect the way milk does. They can have foods like paneer, which will give them a concentrated source of protein and calcium. They can opt for leafy vegetables. Thirdly, which will be as great as milk is. So these are the top three things which they can take if they are keeping away from milk directly.
That's so helpful. I'll make sure I tell my parents next time that
Yeah.
these are the top three. So green leafy vegetables, paneer and curd, right? So both for vegetarians and non-vegetarians.
Yes. Yes.
And like we know, the whole inflammatory process that you rightly mentioned about, dairy causing inflammation, in return causing, cortisol
Right.
spikes, and then resulting in increased sebum is how guys get acne because of increased sebum secretions. So there's another really interesting topic, and we've got a question also from Archan Dave. He says,
Yes.
I'm a 45-year-old male gym buff. Whey protein is integral to my diet. Does it have any adverse effect on my skin? So, Ms.
Great
Rashmi,
that. Yes, so it is great that a question has come up, and we really do not have to, speak separately on that topic. Now, whey, I am very sure that it is good for your muscles, but it is not as good for your skin, because we all know that whey is basically 20% milk protein, right? And the proteins which come from, or the milk derived proteins, definitely have a direct relationship with your the breakouts which you get, right? Now, though there are no conclusive researches which say that why they exactly causes acne breakouts, but one of the reason could be the high insulin and insulin-like growth factors, which it stimulates or increases. And we all know that insulin stimulates the production of the sebaceous glands, and thus that in together gives a great environment for the breakouts to happen. So I understand being into bodybuilding or being a good gym buff. Proteins is important, but then if it is causing you a problem, or if you do not want it to cause your problem, you can opt for different alternatives. Like there are different protein mixtures you get. There are BCAAs, there are L-arginine, there are L-carnitine. Now, I would not be talking about it because it is again individualistic, right? You know, or your trainer or your nutritionist know what your body requires, how your routine is like. So if you want to stay away from problems or acne breakouts due to weight, it is always better that you talk to your doctor, or you talk to your nutritionist, or your dermatologist to check what exactly will suit you, and you can shift to those protein options.
do you get a lot of patients who are looking for alternatives to whey, Ms. Rashmi?
Yes. See, if uh, there are not many, but in case if a person is trying to lose weight, he or she is doing working out in the gym. They are doing weight training along with cardio to build the muscles while losing weight. And if they are on whey protein, now there are possibilities that people or females who are overweight, they have an underlying condition, maybe a PCOS or something. Similar goes with males, right? They may have an underlying comorbid condition. So in that cases, the chances of acne breakouts or chances of skin irritation, skin problems is very high. I have seen a person who repeatedly came with skin rashes or irritation on the skin, having dry skin, and then when the whey protein was stopped, the rashes and the irritation reduced.
Yes.
So We do not know whether it is acne breakouts or some other skin related problems which the whey is causing, but too much of it is definitely is causing a problem some way or the other.
Yeah. What is your opinion about there's a lot of plant protein being spoken about. There are a lot of plant protein supplements in the market. I think from what I know, I could be wrong, the main component is pea protein and they claim to be, completely gluten free, vegan and everything like that. What's your opinion about pea protein and the likes?
See, I, as a nutritionist, totally do not recommend supplementations as far as you are taking a balanced diet, which is good for your skin, for your hair, for your body as as a whole, right? We
Yeah.
are made, our body is made in such a way that if you eat a proper balanced diet, you need not require supplementation. I understand people who are into bodybuilding, they require a little more proteins than what others require. But the rest of the things like the vegetables, fruits, fiber, good fatty acids, the essential fatty acids, they all remain the same, right? And if you can take all these things from a balanced diet, then I really do not feel the need to go to these kind of supplementations. Now, again, when we talk about supplementations, it has different compositions, and we really do not know because we have not had that for forever. We really do not know how that will react in your body, right? So it is always better to go on to balanced or natural sources than to rush and go in for supplementations.
Yeah, I
That
think that's the best
may give
advice as
results.
well.
Yeah, they may give results, but then you do not know over the long run what adverse effects they have on your skin or your hair or your health.
Yeah, I think one of the most, because you were speaking about a patient with rashes where you ask them to, sort of avoid whey protein and the rashes have come down. Another age group that really reflects upon these rashes with milk, when they wean of breast milk onto newer foods and things like that is the pediatric age group. And since we deal with a lot of pediatric dermatology in the hospital, we also have a question here which I thought was relevant. So, diet and atopic dermatitis in infants, right? So, a person says, I have atopic dermatitis. What kind of milk is good for me, or can it make my condition worse? I think this
Now,
is an adult, of course, but they are born with atopic tendencies.
right, right. So, see, I feel that milk definitely should be avoided for a particular period of time, at least till the condition is a little manageable. It is a little, controlled through medication. Yes, what they have mentioned is what kind of milk is good. As I have already mentioned, you can opt for milk alternatives like curd or buttermilk or paneer. If that is also not suiting you, or if you do not like it, then you can opt for something like almond milk or soya milk. Soya milk again is a soya has some inhibitors in it, right? So again, how it will react, we do not know. So what remains is almond milk. That can be tried. That really gives good amount of nutrition along with for helping you stay away from the normal milk which you consume.
What is the youngest age group that can actually consume almond milk instead of the normal milk?
There is see it we any kind of food which you introduce to a younger generation, it takes us time to understand how it reacts. Like even if when we start the younger ones with the normal milk, when once they stop with the mother's milk and when we start them with the cow's milk, we always try to tell them to mix it with half proportion of water and then give, just to understand if it is not suiting, it should not cause adverse effects. So similarly, you always have to try. Do not, just because we say you can opt for some other milk alternatives, do not just fill up a glass and give. It is always like it is for skin. Whenever, I think, Dr. Sravya, whenever you prescribe any medications or any ointments, you must be telling them to just, many a times it happens that, to just test whether it is good. Yeah,
Wean yourself onto it, do a patch test. It's the same thing. So,
absolutely.
diagnosing is good.
Similar, absolutely. So similar goes with food. You always need to test whenever you are introducing any new food to a younger gap of younger batch of people, you always need to check whether it is suiting the kid, it is not suiting the kid, and then maybe once you are assured that it is good, you can keep a gap of a week or 2 3 days to check whether it is not causing any reaction or any allergies, and then you can probably start it. But of course, I mean, you not only for the kids, for or adults also, whenever you start with any particular food, always try and talk to a qualified nutritionist or your doctor or your dermatologist to check whether it is not, whether it is not causing any hindrance with the medication which is given, or the thought process which goes behind the treatment. So it is always better.
Yeah, the only I think medication that I actually give with an instruction to be taken with milk is isotretinoin, and that too again it is for very severe acne, but that's the only condition in which I say please have it with a glass of milk because of the absorption, tendency being better. But
Right.
yes, thank you so much for that, Miss Rashmi. I think for all atopic dermatitis kids, would I be safe in suggesting whether it's an infant, toddler, teenager, and adult, would I be okay in saying that consult with the nutritionist? But if I have to say the top three alternatives of milk could be almond milk, soy milk, or any
We
other
also
oat
get
milk. Oat milk
oat
also.
milk, you get goat milk. Yes, that is also, you can have that as well. Oats milk is also fine.
So, but first dilute it, test it, see how your
Yes,
skin is reacting, and then go ahead with it. So,
very
atopic
important.
dermatitis, I know that the normal cow and buffalo milk causes a lot of flare-ups of atopic dermatitis, and then they just all the grandmothers keep giving it more, more, and that is difficult to
It is
change.
very important to, for these foods which are I would not say traditional, but which has been coming in from the ancestors for the health. It is very difficult to make the parents or the grandparents understand that it is not the same like it used to be there in during their times. Times have changed, the bodies have changed, the environment has changed, and so have our lifestyles. And that is the reason why most of the foods which were great for our health during those times have become our worst enemies now. So
There was a research article that I was reading, which actually has the medical evidence which says that dairy, the buffalo and the cow milk that we traditionally, even I was given, I'm sure you were given it too by our grandparents, is actually harmful because it has hormones and growth factors which are designed for an animal the size of a cow or a buffalo, right? And because
yes,
of our lifestyle and generations not having that much physical activity, I mean, we're not even supposed to take it in the first place. It's
absolutely. So a simple thing, when you boil buffalo's milk, and you keep it in the refrigerator, the amount of cream or the malai which comes on the top is huge. It's huge. And even if you do this twice or thrice, you will see at least for 2 times the same amount of layer comes on top. Now that is nothing but fats, right? There were times when people used to run around the house to pick up the phone. Now there are mobile phones come up. People used to travel through cycles. Now there are cars come up. So we are not. We need to understand one thing, that our lifestyles have changed so much that we just cannot allow ourselves to enjoy the same things which our parents or our grandparents enjoyed. There has to be some alteration made. The amount has to be taken care of. Our health has to be seen. It has to be seen how our body reacts to that particular food, and only then we should be consuming.
So basically, make lifestyle changes according to the generation that we belong to.
Of course, yes, yes. It
Yes,
has become like that nowadays. So
yeah, for
can't help.
sure. So we have another question from Rusha Nayak who says, I have a patch of acne on my right cheek. I've tried medicines, but they haven't worked. Would a change in diet help? Well, I think a change in diet would help the new ones from coming up for sure. I don't necessarily know if it will help the existing one to go down. But
No,
yeah,
see,
just get the stronger medication.
so you there, Dr. Sravya?
Yeah, I'm here. It was just getting cut
There
off a
was
little
some.
in between.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, now it
as
is.
you said, diet cannot help to, like I always say, diet doesn't help in any spot reduction. Like if you come to me and tell me कि मेरे tummy का fat बड़ा है, तो I cannot there's no particular food which will help for spot reduction. Similarly, there is no particular food which will help you to uh, cure the existing acne which has come out. What food can do is it will help you to prevent or reduce the new breakouts which would be there. It will help to purify your blood. It will help to make nutrients which you are eating, the healthy ones, to reach to your skin cells so as to improve it. So if we talk about diet to prevent or to reduce the breakouts, yes, I would suggest keeping yourself hydrated is very, very important. I think, Dr. Sravya, you would agree to this, that water and hydration plays a very, very important role. Secondly, incorporating a lot of foods which are rich in antioxidants, right? Foods like your vitamin C rich foods like your amla, guava, orange, uh, of course, leafy vegetables to some extent, pomegranate, they are very good for your skin. Essential fatty acids, which we get from nuts and oil seeds, they will help you, right? Staying away from sugars, very, very, very important. I mean, my parents and my in-laws would kill me for this because I always stop them from having sugars. But I think in nowadays, sugar has become worse than any other food because a simple example, we know that any kind of fungi or bacteria, if we keep a mithai at home, the growth on that is a little faster than the other
Much
food which we
the
eat.
others, yeah.
So similar happens inside our body. So sugar, it not only causes inflammation and it aids in your breakouts, but it is not good for your overall health. And we really have to stay away from it as much as possible. So that is very, very important point which I would like to stress on. Again, apart from that, eating a lot of leafy vegetables, green vegetables, and fruits. So, why I'm focusing on leafy vegetables and green vegetables? Because, Dr. Sravya, many a times it happens that I'm talking to an audience and I ask, "Hey, aaj, what you had in your tiffin? What vegetable you had in your tiffin?" And there are few people who raise their hands and some say, "Aaj rajma tha." A few say, "Aaj palak paneer tha." कोई कहेगा, "Aaj egg tha." So for us Indians, I feel that whatever we eat along with chapati is a vegetable, which is not so, right? Vegetable is different, and a pulse or a protein source in our meal is different. So we need
Correct.
to understand that, and we need to have at least 3 to 4 portions or different type of vegetables every day, and a minimum of 2 fruits every day. So these are the top basic foods, I would think, which are easily available at our home, which we know are good for our, not only for our skin, hair, but our overall health. We need to try and incorporate them in our day-to-day routine, and you really need not worry about any other thing. This thing will
That's great.
definitely help.
That's great. So all of you guys have got your top five food routines or food items that you have to do along with drinking a lot of water for acne. There are a lot of patients, Miss Rashmi, who come and tell me I'm drinking a lot of water, I'm still getting acne. As if that's the only reason. So I have to tell them, listen, water is important. It's not the
But
only
that is
thing
not the
that.
only solution.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, similar goes with, when we talk about acne, now that we are talking about water, there are a lot of people who come with the complaints of constipation. And
Yes.
I feel, Dr. Sravya, I don't know whether I'm right or no, but that is one of the reason why the health of your skin is deteriorating.
It's
Or
completely related. People who have constipation have acne flare-ups.
right,
People who
right,
have stomach infections with H. pylori
right.
also have. So gut health and water intake and
Absolutely.
acne is all related. Yes.
Absolutely. So when I tell them that पानी you have to be well hydrated, they say कि अरे पानी तो 3-4 लीटर पी रहे हैं, फिर भी नहीं हो रहा है ना. We need to understand that staying hydrated is a part. It is not the only solution. If you're not having your greens, if you're not having your fruits, if you're
Fiber.
having junk, if you're having a lot of processed foods, then there's no doctor or no food which is going to help you, right? You need to take care of your overall the overall lifestyle that you're following, the overall routine, along with physical activity. So I mean, everything has to be taken care of.
Yeah, yeah, it's a holistic approach.
Absolutely, absolutely.
There's one more really common question. I'm glad it's coming up from the audience today. Vasudha Venkat Krishnan wants to know, does spicy food trigger acne? I honestly don't know, Miss Rashmi, because I've never read it in books, I mean, relating to spices, so you only have to tell me.
See, there are researches which say that certain spices are good for your health, are good for
Yeah.
your yeah. So we cannot really say that spices causes acne, but yes, spicy and oily food are difficult to digest,
Hmm.
and that hampers our gut health, and that is the way why it causes acne.
So there's an
There is no
indirect
direct
relation.
relation, but there is an indirect relation. And most of the times we try and enjoy, of course, now that most of us are working from home, the lifestyle is sedentary, we are not physically active, and our eating pattern has shifted drastically. Initially, only our dinners used to be heavy because everybody used to say that is the only meal we have with our family. So that has to be, we have to eat whatever is cooked at home. But now the entire day we are eating together. There are delicacies being prepared, and all those things. So our body is really not getting proper time to digest the food which we are eating until and unless we are really we are physically active. So we need to understand that we just cannot afford to have oily and spicy food. It has to, yes, mild spices is okay, but spices together with oil, it definitely triggers and hampers our digestive system. And that, as Dr. Sravya, you have rightly mentioned, that the gut health is, if it is not good, then it is the um, that is the reason, or the
Yeah, you'll keep breaking
point
out.
where it
It's
starts.
very.
Yeah.
So we hope we answered your question, Vasudha. So we have Pratha who says, "Why do I get tiny spots on my forehead when I've been eating at odd times?" Precisely for the same reason that Miss Rashmi said. So it's going to mess with your circadian rhythm. It's going to be messed up with your digestive system that has timings as well. And so if somehow you're eating at odd times and suspecting it's obviously junk, it's not obviously fresh food, so everything sort of adds up and then you have an effect ultimately on the sebaceous glands, whether it's cortisol, insulin growth factors, insulin resistance, which just come in with everything else. It does have a role to play in the sebaceous glands and the amount of sebum it secretes. So those spots on your forehead that you're probably referring to falls under the oily T zone of the face that is mostly affected with increase in oil secretion. So that's like the simple but complicated answer as to if you eat at odd times. Is there anything to be added to that, Ms. Rashmi?
I think that is the main, as I mentioned, root cause of all the things. If our lifestyle is not good, if you're not eating good, if you're eating a lot of junk food, you're not eating your fresh produce, then it ultimately shows up. If it is
Yeah,
not to be shown in your health, because showing on your organs take a little longer time, so your body is giving you signals through your skin. So
yes.
it is a great way of your body to tell you that you need to change your lifestyle. And we should be glad that we are made up in such a way that we can at least first see on our skin, rather than first seeing on our organs. The body is giving us signals, and it is the right time to change our lifestyle so that our body is not affected on a whole.
Yeah, very rightly said. Like we say, the skin is used as a tool to diagnose something much deeper as well, which we do
Yeah,
all the time as far as
true.
lifestyle changes are concerned. So this brings us to how our skin looks and whether it's dry, oily, combination. There's all sorts of questions coming up. So Prata A wants to know, I have extremely dry skin. Can any diet help my skin get more moisturized?
So, firstly, as I said, hydration, because if you're not well hydrated, it shows up on your skin. Your skin becomes dry, it becomes grumpy. So that is very very important. Now you need to understand many a times when I ask people how much water do you consume. People are not aware about how much they are drinking. They have to think. That should not be the case. You should be well assured that you at least drink a minimum of 2 liters water every day, right? And apart from that, if you feel that if you feel thirsty more, then you have to drink more. If you urinate more frequently, if you work out, that is, if you're losing or sweating too much, then you have to compensate for those losses, right? So you have to be assured that you drink those 2 liters. So you have to fill a 1 liter ka bottle early morning when you wake up, finish it up till your lunchtime, fill up another bottle again and finish it up till your dinner time. So this is the best way, right, to be assured. Secondly, nuts and oilseeds which are rich in vitamin E, because you can make a combination of almonds, walnuts, sunflower seeds, and pumpkin seeds. Now, these seeds will give you all the essential fatty acids along with the omega 3, right? And they act as a natural moisturizer for your skin. So this will help again. Now, when we talk about water, it is not only hydration directly through water, but through fruits and vegetables like maybe watermelon, your muskmelon, your cucumbers, which give you not
Content.
only give you fiber, yeah, but it gives you water also. So I think these things, if you try and incorporate in your routine, they will really help you.
So what
I
is
mean,
this again, Ms. Rashmi? Just to summarize, you said sunflower seeds.
hydration, sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, almonds, and walnuts. So what
Okay.
y'all can do is you can just make a mixture of it, roast it, and store it in an airtight jar. Because being oil seeds, if you keep it outside for a long period of time, the chances of them become a little rancid, and you get that rancid smell, a pungent smell. Is that the chances are high. So always try and roast them and keep it in an airtight jar inside the refrigerator. The best time to have these nuts and oil seeds is either early in the morning, as soon as you wake up, or 6:15 in the evening. Why these timings? Because these are the timings when the oxidative stress inside our body is very high. The body needs antioxidants to combat with them, and so the absorption of all the oils, all the nutrients from these nuts and oil seeds will be better during these times. So these are the
Okay.
best times to have.
Okay, perfect. From a dermatological point of view, I wanted to know your opinion. There are these new tablets which have come up for extremely dry skin medical cases, such as atopic dermatitis or psoriasis or ichthyosis and clerosis. These are like very very serious dry skin conditions. They actually are they're oral ceramides. So you guys, if you have very, very serious conditions where food is not making a difference, or you need something more, there are also ceramide capsules available, which basically infuse the same way that Ms. Rashmi has enumerated about the essential fatty acids and things like that. Great. So we know solutions to dry skin now. I will make sure I make an airtight container of those seeds and put it in my refrigerator. Miss Rashmi. So Pratha, please about our dairy conversation. Great. So Sai Lakshmi wants to know her face is oily. So what kind of food items should she eat? I think it's more of what not to eat.
Absolutely. So, of course, when we talk about oily skin again, see, firstly, hydration, I would say, is very, very important. You need to stay away from processed and preserved foods as much as possible, because there are all hidden uh, fats and the hidden preservatives which come through them. So, though many of the products, just to add, there are many products which say no trans fat on the packet. If you turn around and check the nutritional content, there is still some amount of trans fat available. So, it is very, very important to stay away from these foods, uh, uh, whatsoever they mention on the packet. Try and opt for fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, freshly cooked food at home. Again, I would force on staying away from sugars as much as possible. I really, you know,
Not easy.
absolutely. Now, when we talk about sugars, there is another question which comes up from people is, yes, I have stopped sugars, but I take jaggery and honey instead. Now,
Mm,
I would suggest that jaggery and honey is. I totally understand and agree that they have certain benefits over sugars, over white sugars, but they are still sugars, right? So until and unless needed, please do not opt for them. There are a lot of natural sugars. So, for example, if you're making any dessert at home, you can add dates to it, you can add anjeer to it, you can add bananas to it, you can add grated fruits to it. It will give you the same amount of sweetness as these sugars does, along with some benefits. Like if you have dates, it will give you iron along with the sweetness. If you have anjeer, that is figs, they will give you calcium and iron along with fiber and the sweetness. So why not opt for these foods rather than going in for those sugars? So I think yes, for Sai Lakshmi, hydration, having a lot of fresh produce, staying away from sugars and processed foods, very very important. I mean, these will help you not to take care of your oily skin, because a skin type is what we are born with.
mm.
I feel, Dr. Sravya, but yes, to stay away from the breakouts which may be caused due to that oily skin.
Yeah, definitely, definitely
So,
doing
Dr.
same.
Sravya, I mean, if I ask you personally, there's no way to change the skin type, right? If I have an oily skin, it is an oily skin. I have to stay with it.
This question is a good question because people fail to realize that their skin type changes with age. Their skin type changes with pregnancy. The skin type will change with hormonal changes. Your skin type will change with season. Some people might have very dry skin to be born with. They might turn into acne prone oily skin during teenage. Again, an adult or premenopausal age might turn into combination skin, which ultimately will become again dry skin. So it's a transitional phenomenon. It's never the same. It's never the same. Like if I suddenly go
Absolutely.
start living in the Arctic, it'll be dry as hell. Like you know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying?
And yeah,
So
so
it's
it changes with weather also. So, I mean, that is the reason why we always focus on having seasonal fruits and vegetables, because that is what they are meant for, right? Now, when we talk about mangoes, mangoes are not bad because they also have fiber and good vitamins and nutrients in them. But the way we eat them, just
yeah.
because season though I mean we have two of it and three of it, so that is every food has a
Believe the
specific
number of people with acne flare-ups that have come in this season, Miss Rashmi. All my first question is how many mangoes are you eating per day? Because if you are not relating your acne, which was previously cured, if you're not relating your boils and acne to mangoes, then you're wrong. Because it's directly related to high glycemic index foods.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. So everything in the right quantity at the right time is what one should have. We are. I believe that we are social animals, and we cannot stop from going out and eating. Going everything. Everything starts and ends with food. But then we should be aware what suits us, what doesn't suit us, what is good for you, and if we cannot stay away from it, then what is
Yeah.
the right quantity, with which we should go. So that is very very important.
So we were talking so much about sugar, all of you guys. But now there's another extreme of patients that has actually come for a variety of problems to us, whether it is extreme and sudden loss of hair, stretch marks, nutritional deficiencies, and gut health as well. So I have personally seen so many, Miss Rashmi, and this all goes to people starting veganism all of a sudden. So we have a question from Pratha which says, "Do you recommend a vegan diet to everyone?" So can you like dispel some myths about vegan diets? It seems to be a fad now. So is it really that good? Is it really that bad? Does it need to be done in moderation? Do you need to be supplemented? Like if a non-vegetarian suddenly turns vegan, it's taking a horrible toll on everything from skin to hair to gut health to constipation to everything. So, what is the right way to do that? Is the approach that most um, Indians are having, given our Indian diet, is that the right approach at all?
See, the vegan thing has not started in India.
Hmm.
It has come from the other countries there, and now they are here
Yeah.
again. Among the researches which I have seen, there are no huge researches which are happening in India. There are great researches with great results in the foreign countries. Now, why they are getting great results is because their basic uh, meal pattern has huge amount of non-vegetarian foods, which is highly red meat, and
Yes.
red meat is not good, right?
Yes.
There,
I
red
tell
meat
you that I'm like chicken and fish are good for you, not red
Absolutely.
meat.
But meat is causing a lot of problems. There are a lot of documentaries which are available on Netflix or other places which say that they are showing great results turning vegan because their basic food pattern or food involved red meat, right?
Yeah.
For for us, it is not so. Yes, we do consume red meat. There are people who consume, but it is not that high. So turning vegan is not a solution. I think people who, yes, if you are used to having vegetarian diet from, I mean, you are born into a vegetarian family, it is still good, but you need not stay away from milk or things like this if it is really not required. Yes, if you are eating red meat, of course it is always beneficial if you stop having it. If you cannot stop having it once a month is still okay, but not more than that because it has huge impact on our body. It has huge impact on our lipid profile. If you see, it is really bad. Chicken and fish, as Dr. Sravya you mentioned, it is really good. It gives you good fats, right? Absolutely. When we talk about skin, the fatty fishes that like sardines and salmon, which are available, they give you very good omega 3 and essential fatty acids, which are really good for your health and your skin. So definitely, you should be going with it. Now, I would like to talk when we say no red meat for a particular reason. There may be doctors or dietitians who prescribe no non-vegetarian because of a particular reason. That is the way we prepare it. We are used to frying fishes. We are used to having non-vegetarian or chicken prepared in coconut
Lot of
gravies
masala. Yeah.
or a lot of masalas. Now, I do not say coconut is bad, but then if you're using coconut, the gravy itself, the coconut releases oil. Then you need not add oil, but we do not do that. We love our gravies or non-vegetarian preparations with a layer of oil on top or any other food or say. We feel that more the oil, the better the taste of the food. Now this is the problem. So not deviating from the topic, but vegan diet is really not required. The shift will cause a toll on your hormonal balance, may cause deficiencies. It is not for us. It is for people from where it has come. It is really good for them, but it is definitely not. It will not give you a great benefit. Shifting to vegan.
Yeah,
And
that is
if you are really doing so, you please need to talk to your doctor and your dietitian or a qualified nutritionist before doing that because you should know what if there are pros, what are the cons. You need to be prepared for it.
yeah, that is true. Well, I'm going to go through the questions a little bit here and filter out what is for food and skin because there are a lot of other things coming up. Mandeep colored dark spots, contact me later. How to reduce pimples? You just can play back the video. How do we remove under eye dark circles from a food point of view? Drink a lot of water, be healthy, sleep well. You can also put on cucumber or tea bags. Apart from that, medical treatments, dark circles again. That how do you reduce hair cracks? I think you mean frizzy hair with damaged hair. That's again, not food and skin. Monica Satish, here's a question, Miss Rashmi. So seeds sometimes, these days they're sold as powders, where people sort of like how you mentioned sunflower seeds, papaya seeds, and you said walnuts and almonds, right? If somebody doesn't have the time or they don't like eating the seeds, so somebody wants to know if this seeds powder is harmful, or can you actually do it?
Uh, it is advisable not to do at home
Hmm.
because these being nuts and oil seeds, if you powder it in the mixture, you in the grinder which is available at home, the oils would be extracted. You
So
will
the
see
purpose
the
is not
powder.
served. Ah,
So
done.
the
So absolutely no use.
Yeah, it is no use. If you're getting it from outside, we see again, we do not know the way they do it. There may be different methods of them doing it through which they may, I mean, preserving the oils, but we cannot rely. So it is always better to have whole, right, rather
Natural.
than powdering it and having.
Yeah. So Preetpal Kaur wants to know, due to menopause, my skin has become dry and there's a change in color also. Preetpal, we do know that menopause causes a lot of change. But Rashmi, is there any menopausal pre or post during menopause? Perimenopausal women. Is there anything that can actually substitute for the estrogen deficit? Are there any foods which make their menopause easier on them as far as mood swing, hot flashes, and all this is concerned?
See, I would not suggest foods which will substitute or will help to play a part as the estrogen. But yes, if you talk about hot flushes, again, hydration is very important. And I feel that you need to start preparing for your menopause way before. So 40, 42 is the age, or 40 plus is the age when you really need to start preparing for your menopausal age. You need to take care of your diet. You need to start doing physical activity. You need to start eating healthy. You need to start taking care of your weight if it is on the higher side, right? Because all these things will together, if they are not in a proper state or condition till you reach your menopausal age, then there may be a problem. If you're taking care of it way prior to you reaching your menopausal age, then it becomes easy for you. Again, there are researchers which say that soya or soya products, foods like broccoli or families like which belong to the cruciferous families, they may have an effect, right? Like we say in thyroid, but
Yeah,
there are no researches which support. I mean, no great researches which support this. Again, what I feel is these are the foods which we do not have on a regular basis, right? Maybe if we have broccoli this week, we do not have it in the next week. If we have cabbage this week, we may not repeat it. So if
yeah,
you're having it in such a less quantity, definitely doesn't cause any problem. But yes, staying physically active, staying away from oily and fried foods, staying hydrated, and following a healthy lifestyle is very, very important. Start
yeah,
preparing for your menopause way before. It will definitely help. Now, Dr. Savya, I'm sorry, but I would like to mention the oil part here, because there are a lot of questions with a lot of people coming and they say that we use olive oil for cooking. It is healthy. So,
yeah.
why not? Why reduce it? So, I would like to mention that olive oil is not, though there are companies which are marketing that it can be used for Indian cooking. The smoking point of olive oil is so less that, the way we are used to cook food is that we put oil in a pan and we wait for the smoke to come out. And then we
Correct.
add the seasoning. Olive oil absolutely cannot be used like that. If you use it like that, you are deteriorating it, and it may cause problems. So it is always, if you're using it, try and use it for only salad dressings or sauteing vegetables on a low flame, and you can absolutely enjoy the benefits of it. Rather than that, when we talk about oil, very essential for your skin, for your overall health, that your oil consumption has to be taken care.
So you
Uh,
prefer like normal sunflower oil or
So
safflower
half a
for
liter
cooking?
oil per person. Yes, so half a liter oil per person per month is what is the recommended allowance, firstly. So if you all are four in the family, not more than 2.5 liters of oil per month. And none of the oil has all the essential fatty acids in it. So you just cannot stick to a particular oil. Always try and keep on changing oils. So when I talk about changing oil, I do not mean the brand of oil, but the type of oil. For
Correct.
example, if this month I am buying sunflower oil, the next month I'll buy soybean oil, the next month I'll buy sunflower oil. So you have to keep on changing the type of oil you use to get the benefits of oil. It is also essential to maintain your skin health and your overall health. Very, very important.
That's a very great tip that you can just keep switching oils, because I think Indians are eternally in the search for the perfectly healthy oil and they're looking for one solution. And I think
Right.
this is a great way to sort of incorporate the benefits of each by, alternating them. Well, just like running out of time really quickly. I didn't even realize it's been 49 minutes. So maybe let's take, last two questions, you guys, and then later Miss Rashmi and me can always answer your comments in the comment section. Um,
Absolutely.
Pratha wants to know if hyperpigmentation can be helped out by a plant-based diet. All the dermats have told me that it's hereditary, so I can't do anything about it. What do you all think? I'm thinking she's referring to melasma because that is the one thing which is hereditary, which shows up as those brown blotchy patches on the face.
Right.
I
So
don't know. I
as yeah, even see there are no, as I mentioned, there are no particular foods which can help you with your patches or the pigmentations which are there. But we can definitely try and you know, I would not say reduce, but help you to improve the quality of your skin through the food tips that we have already discussed. Uh,
melasma. I think, Rashmi, for Pratha, I think melasma, the tip for her is there are plant based extracts that we give to apply, like kojic acid from mushroom, licorice
okay,
extract, arbutin, citric acid is from lemons, lactic acid is from dahi, tartric acid is tomatoes. What else? What other acids are there? So many. Malic acid is from apples. So all these are the acids that we actually use to lighten. So Pratha, that's your answer because I don't think any diet can really cure melasma.
absolutely.
It's definitely, an external process. But what we can ask Miss Rashmi is tips for premature aging in our daily lives. There's more stress. So, okay, let's end the session by talking about anti-aging foods. I think this is like the most popularly asked question. So, what foods can we incorporate to age gracefully?
See, we need to understand that as I have started the session with having a balanced, nutritious, healthy meal is very, very important. Like our body, I mean, our skin cells are degenerating and the newer cells are growing up, and it is our duty to give them the right amount and the right type of nutrition to grow healthy, right?
Yeah.
So, to age in a very good way, yes. Hydration again is very important. Along with that, the essential fatty acids which you get from the nuts and oil seeds is
Are
very
there any,
important.
are there any collagen-rich foods, Miss Rashmi? Like we give a lot of anti-aging collagen supplements. Is
So
there
there are
anything
no
that
foods.
naturally occurs?
There are no foods which give collagen, but there are foods which help to stimulate
Collagen
the
building.
process of the collagen. Of course, non-vegetarian foods are good. You
Bone marrow
fish.
soup is supposed to be the richest source, am I right? Bone
Sorry.
marrow, bone.
Absolutely. So you can make a soup. I was just about to get to that bone marrow soup. So you can just prepare a soup out of it. Uh, uh, you know, let it boil in whatever masalas or whatever spices you want, and you can have that. Fish is again a good source because the bones is a very good source. So if you prepare curries out of it. You know, the juices of the bones are extracted in the gravies, and you get the benefit of those foods. Of course, green leafy vegetables, fruits, they are good in a way. But fatty, as you mentioned, that bone marrow and fatty fish are the richest, are on the top, which help to stimulate the production of collagen. So that definitely is there. Again, when we talk about nuts and oilseeds, that has to be there. Omega 3 rich foods like the oily fish and the nuts. Vitamin C rich foods, they are again, as I mentioned, they have to be taken like your amla, guava, your lime, sweet lime, orange, pomegranate. Selenium is a very important micronutrient which plays an important role along with these vitamin C and vitamin E rich foods. So it is again an antioxidant, and there are researchers which say that it plays a good role, a great role in preventing skin cancers and skin darkening, and
Are
the
there any selenium rich specific
so
foods?
nuts and oil seeds are they are good sources of selenium. Also, whole grains are good sources of selenium, so they can be had. So these are the foods if you incorporate along with some physical activity. Now again, physical activity is very very important because it helps to improve your metabolism. The blood circulation improves through physical activity, and that is how the right nutrients which you're eating are able to reach the skin cells, right? Otherwise, if you do not do any physical activity, if you're immobile, the blood circulation will not be great, and whatever you're eating is not reaching to the entire body through the blood flow. So, physical activity again plays a very important role. So, yes, these foods are great sources, to help you age.
To help
Uh,
you glow and age well, and of course physical activity. I think we should end the session by asking Miss Rashmi a very interesting question. I cannot avoid this. Mr. Ajay says, people of a glass of wine is said to make your skin glow, so he wants to know if
so,
that is that right?
So, see, there is no, we cannot prescribe wine or any kind of liquor in our diet, right? There is no prescription. Yes, there are researches which say that a glass of, when I say a glass, you just need not take a whole glass. A small quantity of wine can be beneficial, but there are no researches, you know, foolproof researches. So rather than, I would say, rather than go and have your berries and grapes, then going in for the fermented version of them,
Yeah.
use wine. So yeah,
Okay.
that.
Okay, great. So I think we've run out of time. It's almost an hour, you guys. I know there's a lot of more questions coming up. Maybe Miss Rashmi will do one more session. A lot of questions about collagen supplements and PCOS foods and things like that. We
Yes, so I
definitely.
think whatever questions are coming up, maybe we can make we can take those on priority basis in case if we keep a session, so that those can be solved as much as possible. If there are any repetitive questions, we can ask.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So thank you very much for attending our show. It was indeed informative, and I'm sure me and Ms. Rashmi will have a lot more to talk about.
Absolutely.
And Ms. Rashmi is going to talk more in our next session. We'll definitely have one more. And this is us signing off. Thank you so much, Ms.
Thank
Rashmi.
you. Thank you all. Thank you, Dr. Savya.